I got nothing still.
All right, Grasshoppers. It is Thursday afternoon, 2:00 Eastern. We're back. James, how are you doing?
Doing good.
That's a nice sweatshirt you got there.
Yeah, it's good memories from best time of my life. Remember we used to wear these in morning skates, or we got to wear them to the rink a couple of years. We didn't have to wear a suit and tie that year. And,
I figured I'd change up a little bit too. I don't know if you can see what I got on there. That's a Ranger shirt. And this is a buff from Survivor too. I was on Survivor.
Were you?
What? Mel, how you doing, bud? What do you got on there? What kind of shirt? That's a nice shirt. I like that one.
Yeah, I know.
What kind of shirt is it?
It's taupe. It's a taupe Tiger Woods golf shirt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And what do you smell? What do you smell like today?
Mont Blanc. With a sterling watch.
Nice.
Dippity do in the hair.
It looks good. The hair looks good. Yeah.
I know. Thanks.
How about those people finding the video of you dancing there on vacation? Right? See that?
I was. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what you're doing at night, Tom, but holy crap. You got some people helping you?
People send me videos like they got into that was a public did some what is that a request for what do they call it when you request public information, right? So they requested that video.
I had to walk the line one time. I think when
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks.
Nice. Yeah.
I had to walk the line and do the alphabet backwards. Try doing that when you're sober.
He actually did. That was from a comedy skit. He actually did that. Did the alphabet backwards. Yeah.
Yeah. It's impossible.
you had to do it. You actually got pulled over and had to do it.
Yeah. Walk the line, touch your nose, and all that stuff. I was good. Like I don't push it. But yeah, it's a scary experience.
But was it just a check stop, or was it random, or
No, they followed me. They followed me. I don't know if they were outside the bar or what they were doing, but they followed me, and I had to do all that stuff. So, yeah, I know. Thanks, Pete. It's been freaking. What's November? November to now, I got nothing, not a thing. And everybody says, "Okay, go on Amazon and buy it." That's not the point. When someone says they're going to do something, you hold them to their word, and you hope that one of,
I thought Gresh was in charge of it.
Well, apparently the story is that Gresh did get it shipped, and it didn't get Mel didn't sign for it or something.
No, that's impossible.
Okay, I'm just
Canadian Customs.
No, Pamela. At least Pamela's good with Amazon. Amazon gets here when they say it's going to get here.
Yeah.
So
it's really then Ron and Dave that have let you down.
Well, mostly Ron. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave was at the draft. He said, "Just steal a hat for me."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, okay, I'll try." And now he doesn't show up today. He's working the liquor store. And anyway,
so here's the poll that we have. Even the current president of the United States wants to be like us. He wants to pretend that he's a truck driver. Do you see that?
I saw that today.
Yeah. Next thing you know, he's going to pretend he was on Survivor too.
Well, they found out that he did go for a ride on a truck.
Yes.
You mentioned Gresh. Any updates?
I think he's doing a lot better. He's on the pain medication, so I call him this time like other days of the week, and he's kind of in and out of it. And actually, he likes to talk, so he rarely wants to hang up. So he has said to me a couple of times, he says, "I got to go. I've got to take my nap." So I think he's getting better.
I keep seeing comments from him on your other podcast during the week. So
So I think he's better in the mornings. I think it's the afternoons, like right around now that he's taking a nap. So he is doing better though. Mel, I don't want to jump in on this because last time I did this to you, you're upset. Did you do any homework at all?
about what?
I like tortoises or anything like that?
I watched the game that Jeep did his homework on.
Right.
You did play lousy, Tom. Like I don't know.
That's true. I did.
Okay, did you watch the whole game?
I watched the. You know what?
Did you? No, listen though. One thing. Did you hear when Phil was talking about how good Tom was playing and his offense has really picked up?
Yeah. Well, let's listen. I didn't mind Phil. He treated me well until he traded both guys, but he didn't know a damn thing about announcing hockey. No. Like he wasn't. He whatever came to his head, he just said. That was one of the best games. I didn't touch the puck the whole game. I never touched the puck. Watch that thing.
I gave it away about 20 times.
I will say this. Looking back, watching that game, Montreal won the cup. They're a good team. They had a lot of big forwards.
Yeah.
And I'm even thinking about hockey now and all these defensemen that got signed. But that's why I think that you guys were so important, because you, like, big physical defensemen could play against those big forwards. It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And I felt in that game, like, Nyland was running around a bit, but then, I know Mel snapped at him, and having like Mel and Tommy and bigger bodies kept those guys quiet.
Yeah, it does make a difference. You see the teams that win now too. They've got big defensemen. Yeah, I agree.
But Montreal wasn't an intimidating team. They were speed, right? The tough guys they had were McPhee, Nyland. Kordic was there. No, I don't think Kordic was there then. I think he got traded to Toronto for Jeff Courtnall. That was a good trade.
No, Kordic was there because he played playoffs against us that year. So he just didn't play that game.
But playing Kordic makes their team totally different.
Yeah.
Right. Like I wasn't intimidated by Nyland or McPhee. McPhee was a tough guy. He was a grinder. Bob Gainey, grinder. Like
Bob was good in that game. Like, you could see he could skate and hit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like playing Philly where you had 7 of those coconuts playing,
I know, but Montreal, big guys who could play. Philly had big guys who were idiots.
Yeah.
You wanted them on the ice in the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, hold on here 1 second. We have some intelligent viewers here with great taste.
Tom,
Thank you, Joe.
That is a good look for you today, though. That's
like it.
Yeah, change up from the black T-shirt.
Yeah.
Well, you won't be able to notice the sweat under his pits today.
That's bad. I just folded that shirt up and put it back in the drawer.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Okay, so the homework I was referring to, Mel, you missed this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember we were talking about the Galapagos tortoise, the female they found a mate for her. And they doing the modern way to start. They're going slow, right? So they did a FaceTime date. She wanted to not rush it, even though they're going.
I saw that story as well, Tommy. They showed her looking into the into the phone or the FaceTime. So
he wanted to get together right away. She wanted to slow things down, do a FaceTime date.
So Braden Holtby's taking his turtles to Dallas.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Is there any water in Dallas?
James,
yeah, there's got to be some. There's some creeks and rivers.
He's going to get across the border again, though, right? That was the issue last time.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So it was a goaltending frenzy. But so, anyways, the green sea turtle. We might have covered this. The female gets lost. The male tortoise must be at the gas station getting directions, while the female's she gets lost 200 miles away from where she was born. But they use the geomagnetic field of the Earth to find their way back. That is the secret. So Holtby has found he didn't do well here. He's gone. How about this? Are we going to get into hockey now, or what do you want me to do?
Go ahead. Whatever you want, Mel. It's your show.
Okay. So our prime minister, who is not the smartest guy, he's ruining this country right now. Can I say that?
Yeah, he said.
100%. I agree with you.
Podwell's back.
Hey, Podwell.
Real quick, I'll let you finish your story, but Doug DeVito couldn't make it today. Wanted me to say hello to you. So,
okay, hi, Dan. Yeah. So, is LA stupid?
Why?
They sign a guy that scored 5 goals for 5.5, and he's Danault.
I think he's a third line center. Maybe it's second line checking, but he's a third line center.
The money they gave out yesterday was ridiculous. I wouldn't have given Dougie Hamilton $9 million. New Jersey's notoriously cheap too. So what the hell?
They made the playoffs once in 9 years, I think. So they have to change.
Some of those signings were just ridiculous. And then,
but one like the Jersey one, though, I think it kind of makes sense because it's making a statement, right? It's showing that we're going for it. We're not just going to.
Well, now you got him and Subban at $9 million.
Yeah, but Subban's in his last year, and they're letting him go after this year. Here's the thing with Dougie Hamilton. He's a big body. You can't. He's led. He's been in top 3 defensemen scoring for like five years. Like every year, he's up there. He's top 3 in goals, top 5 to 7 in points. I get frustrated watching the guy. Like there's sometimes he's in la la land in his D zone, but I know statistically he's put up numbers.
Yeah, really. Didn't he get booed out of Calgary, and that's why he got traded to?
His teammates. He had a problem with the teammates. I think apparently he's a real straight-laced kid. Didn't want to go for beers or anything, right? Is that part of it?
I've heard he's a different bird.
Yeah,
it's like you, Tommy. It's like the Turtles. They got lost, just for a couple of years. You got lost from 1980 to 90. You finally found your way now.
Oh yeah, it took a while.
Yeah.
It took a while. Sure.
Are you getting red, Tom? Do you turn red a little bit there?
No, I was out in the sun.
Oh, with no deodorant on.
Deodorant's overrated.
Yeah. So, and then now, not to get into particulars, but so our prime minister goes on TV. He's more worried about Montreal's pick than the friggin', food shortages and droughts and everything else. We've had 42 days of no rain, fires everywhere. He's worried about Montreal's pick. Anyways.
What'd you guys think of that? What'd you think of that? So the kid comes out and says he does not want to get drafted. He had an issue with, I guess he sent some pictures out of a woman performing some kind of act and got in trouble for it. Apparently he's acknowledged that he did it. I think he apologized and everything. So he asked that nobody draft him. Now, he does not have the right to do that, first of all. And so Montreal goes ahead and picks him in the first round. Apparently, he's a hell of a player, too. I don't know if you guys know much about him, but.
Well, it's like Lindros or Lemieux saying, I'm not going to Quebec and I'm not going to Pittsburgh. They both said that as well, right?
Right. Well, it's a little bit different. He said he didn't want to get drafted at all.
Yeah.
Right. See, to me, I like what Montreal did. Like, the kid has no obligation. When you're drafted, you don't have any obligation to the team at all. There are those camps and everything that they ask the kids to go to, but they don't have to go. He doesn't ever have to do anything for Montreal. And Montreal says they're going to help him through the whole process. So I don't have a problem with it. I think if they really follow through and help him with all the stuff that he's dealing with, I thought it was a smart move.
I have no issue with them picking him. I think there's been many players who've made mistakes and got second and third chances. Obviously he committed a crime and he has apologized. I think he was charged. It was in Sweden. But I was shocked that the prime minister of the country is going to comment on it. If there's anyone who it's proven some of the things he's done, got caught groping a woman as prime minister, groping a woman, got 3 times in his early 20s, went out wearing blackface to parties.
Yeah.
So talk about, he's the only prime minister ever to be charged with 3 ethic violations as far as how he's governing the country. But talk about someone who's got second and third chances.
Yeah, I know.
He's the last guy who should comment on
Montreal.
Well, Tommy, what you explained was a lot worse than I had heard. So.
Oh, is that right? See, I don't know all the details.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Right.
I just assumed that maybe he took a picture of her when she was.
Yeah.
No,
But the thing is,
I read the story, like all the stories as well. So
Yeah.
I think they were.
It was pretty bad.
They were intimate. He took a picture and showed someone on his team, and someone on his team posted it.
Oh.
And,
But again, so clearly he came out and said, "Please don't draft me," or he said he withdrew from the draft. You cannot do that. You can't withdraw from the draft. It doesn't work that way. So again, it's so much right in here because I think Susan Brooke was saying he's not going to go to rookie camp or training camp, so he doesn't have to go. When you're drafted, I know you guys know this, but for everybody else out there, when you're drafted by a team, that doesn't mean that you're required to do anything until you sign a contract. And once you sign a contract, you are. But they just hold your rights for, I think it's for 2 years with a junior player. So I don't think they're actually not doing anything to the young man. He's just been selected by them. They own his rights for 2 years. So, and again, like this, the comments they made after Montreal made by Bergevin was that they're going to really help him through this whole thing. And then if that's the case, he's got somebody on his side that's helping him even more than just being there by him. I know he's got his family probably and an agent, but I was fine with it.
But it's the team. The team is requesting him not to go to camp. What is that? What kind of message? What does that mean?
Is the team requesting that, Mel? Is that what you heard?
Yeah, that's what I heard. The team does not want him to go. That's the start of their program for him. Like, what you'd think that they'd want him in the city or wherever.
But remember, he came out and asked not to be drafted, which would mean he wouldn't be going to a training camp. So that maybe his wishes, they're just trying to say, okay, we're going to let you do what you wanted to do, not come to training camp.
Yeah, but I think maybe they're going to start working with them, rehabilitating and doing some sensitivity training and all types of, whatever is needed to, help get them on the right track. So maybe that's what's going on right now, and the hockey's going to come second.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, I've got 2 psychology classes from the University of Alberta in 1982. How the hell would you start a program on how would you start? How are you going to rehabilitate him on that?
Okay, Mel.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jim.
As a coach for my job, I have to, every year in the off season, I have to take about 3 or 4 online courses, all different, respect in sport, racial sensitivity courses. They're an hour to 2 hours, 3 hours.
Good spelling error. Sorry, Jim.
Yeah, no problem. But talking about all different situations that happen now. Do these courses work? I don't know, but maybe they're a step in the right direction, or their intentions are right. But they're repeatedly putting you in different situations or talking about different situations that have arisen, and what decision would you make in those situations?
So I could go online and go look at something, a topic, and look up, I don't know, deviant behavior or something along that line, and I could straighten myself out.
Does it work?
He's a young man, right? So he obviously felt that it was appropriate to do what he did, take the picture and then send it out. So
but he didn't send it to everybody. One of his buddies is more to blame than the kid doing the act.
Yeah, but the buddy isn't going to be a high draft pick either, right?
Well, the buddy shouldn't be a buddy.
Well, it's another pick your friends better, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, listen, like I said, I think Montreal, if they're really going to help him a lot, and I even think help the victim too, right? Make sure that there's a victim in this case. We got to remember that. Take care of her too. So,
what the hell was he doing in Sweden?
With the OHL, they didn't play last year at all, right, James? Right.
No.
So he went over there to play. Plays for London.
Yeah, I saw that. Interesting. Well, what else? What do you guys think of the other signings on that? Like,
you know what? I was amazed at the defenseman premium on defensemen, lower tiered defensemen. I got a lot of them going for like 3 years, $3 million. Yeah. 3 years, 2.5 for guys who are like 5th, 6th, 7th defenseman, big bodies.
Yeah.
Tucker Poolman, 4 years, that $10 million with the Canucks. He was like a 6th defenseman on the Jets. Dallas just signed that Finnish guy, Hakanpää.
Rangers signed a big guy too.
Plymouth, who I had him in Dallas. Forbert signed in Boston. Kulikov signed in Mini, I think. All those guys getting about 2.5 to $3 million. McCabe, Boston or Buffalo guy, signed 4 years in Chicago for $4 million a year.
Yeah,
I like him. He's got edge.
Yeah. So I bigger bodies.
Yeah.
Bigger physical bodies. There was a premium on them on the back.
All right. What's your opinion on the Marc-Andre Fleury thing? So he gets traded to Chicago, claims he didn't know he was getting traded, and wasn't even told after the fact. He found out from Twitter. Again, the team's not required to tell him that he's getting traded. And he says he's sitting around. He's going into last year of his contract. He's going to sit around for the summer and decide whether he wants to play or not. I'm thinking he's trying to negotiate for a new deal. Right. That's my feeling. Like, why, if you're Chicago, why would you trade for a player like that if you're not, like, the story was that they knew he might retire? That doesn't make sense to me why they would do that. Right. Then either you've got the guy that just won the Vezina Trophy or not. It's not like you're trading for a 4th-line player. You got the guy that just won the Vezina Trophy last year. Mm-hmm. So you're going to sit around all summer long and wait to see whether you've got him in your lineup or not?
Does that make sense? Isn't that kind of like the trade they traded the guy for zero?
Yeah.
So George got rid of, or McCrimmon got rid of salary.
Right.
Why when you're going to a great organization, $7 million a year, you're gonna play that stupid game? The hierarchy has no respect for the player. It never did, never will, except if you're, the big boys. So he didn't get, so what? Suck it up, go to Chicago. It's a great city. You'll have a lot of fun. You want a great team.
Well,
And
apparently he was saying he may retire prior to the trade. So, like, Chicago supposedly knew that he was talking about possibly retiring. That's what the story is. So I don't know if that's true.
Okay, my take on it is, last 4 years, Vegas has played the second most playoff games next to Tampa. Finals, 2 semifinals, and first or second round the 1 year. He's been their stud the whole time. He's been their marquee player. What boggles my mind is why they brought in Lanier to start with.
Yeah, I agree.
In that span, that the year they got to the finals, he carried them.
Yeah.
Their first year, they beat Winnipeg in 6 in the semifinals. He dominated, or in 5. It's not even close if he didn't play that way. He played so well last year, wins the Vezina. But by then they're already stuck with $12 million in goaltender salary, so they had to get rid of someone. So I actually thought Lanier really struggled last year every time they put him in.
Yeah, I know.
So no one wants that $5 million, and that was their only, because they're so stuck with the cap.
I guess the difference is Fleury's age, right? They figure he's not going to last. They have to have something there. But I agree with you. I didn't like the move at all. Yeah.
I don't like, but I saw the press conference. They said they had talked to him the whole week before and let him know that Chicago's interested and they had talked to him about going to Chicago. That Chicago, there's a deal that we could have put in place. So he knew something was up. He just when it was finalized, I don't think they had gotten a hold of him yet.
See, to me, that means and his agent stirs the pot all the time. That Alan Walsh with his tweets all the time and everything too. But I don't know. I mean, they're going to come along and offer him another 2 years on his contract. You mean he's not going to play? That's how I look at it. But
and it's not. I don't think he's got injuries. There's nothing. It's not like Shea Weber, underlying injuries by the sounds of it.
Right. And how about Tampa again getting under the cap? They trade for Seabrook and his contract, knowing that he's not going to play, so they get to put that on long-term injury reserve. So they save $7 million or whatever he's making. Pretty smart move. That Breezebach could be GM of the decade right now, the way he's doing it. So,
what's interesting though, they have given or they've had to lose some pretty good talent.
Yeah.
Like Yanni Gordy was a good player for them. Goodrow, who the Rangers got. Now Johnson, who he was good in the playoffs.
He didn't have a great regular season, right?
No, he didn't. But that's 3 pretty good players for them. Will it affect them, or will they have good young guys coming up? Some of those teams that have drafted and developed well, it seems like they always got someone coming in to fill.
See, I still think they'll be all right. Yeah.
They lost.
I hear this. Go ahead, Mel.
They lost that whole third line.
Yeah.
Right?
Coleman's the other one who went to Calgary.
So there's another thing. I know New York has lots of money. Is Goudreau worth that much money? Holy crap.
Well, remember, some of these guys, it's not just what he's worth. It's part of the price is the price of acquisition, right? It used to be like a signing bonus, but now you're saying, okay, to get him to come here to sign with us, we got to pay maybe more than what he's actually worth on the ice, comparably speaking to other players. So,
Mel, you talked about Danault getting 5 years at 5.5 or 6 years.
That's Danault, isn't that a car? So
yeah, Danault from Montreal went to LA.
Yeah,
Coleman went to Calgary for I think 6 years at 4.9. So you're basically saying $5 million. And Coleman's a third line. They were the third line on Tampa. Yeah. And he's a real good penalty checker, can skate. But
here's Ira here, the commissioner who put the collective bargaining agreement together. He's got all the answers. I think we knew that, Ira, right? What's going to happen with Eichel?
I think the ask has been way too high.
Yeah.
The only when you're listening to all, the different experts, they just keep pointing to Vegas, that Vegas is the team that wants them the most or can use them, but they're asking too much. So I think nothing gets done or they drop their price.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine him going to training camp or
Oh, I know. After they shopped around the league, yeah.
they've been shopping him for.
Ira, what is that all about? Oh man, what? He's a little sensitive today. He got so upset there he forgot the period.
Yeah, somebody that looks like James.
He needed an exclamation point.
Right. Yeah.
James was right though. Last week or the week before, he says Buffalo's going to blow themselves up, get rid of everybody, and that's basically what they've done, except for Eichel yet so far. But have they got anything back? They just signed Craig Anderson, who's 45 years old, to play goal.
I don't. They're going for next year's number 1 pick. What they're doing. But
who do they have left on that team? That one defenseman,
Rasmus Dahlin.
That's it.
Rasmus Dahlin. That's it. Yeah.
No, you know what? You're up in the league for a guy that never watches hockey. Good job.
I don't know anything about hockey. Nothing.
Hold on here. Ira's a sensitive guy.
It's coming.
I don't even look at those Ira. So, I see them once a month. So.
Oh yeah, here's the one too. Supposedly Georgiev, the backup goaltender for the Rangers, good young goalie, asked for a trade already.
Yeah, that's interesting. He's. I think he's good too. I think that their Rangers are strong in that area. But maybe, he just sees long term. He's just always going to be.
Well, he's smart to see it that way too. The other guy, Shesterk, is a heck of a goalie, but it's kind of early to be asking for a trade. Right?
But he makes decent. He's about 2.5. I think he's somewhere around there. So.
Yeah.
Is that the goalie that was fighting with D'Angelo?
I think so.
Yeah.
So D'Angelo goes down to Carolina, as far away from everybody that you can get. So.
Oh, I didn't see it. He signed with Carolina?
Yeah. One year, was it $1 million?
I think so. 1 or 1.2.
You know what? Hopefully the guys learned a lesson, because he's a heck of a player. I've seen him at a couple of events. I didn't think he was that bad of a kid. It's not like I know him that well, but
that might just be a steal though, for Carolina, with his talent.
Yeah. Replace Dougie Hamilton. Okay, by the way, why does a guy want to be called Dougie?
I think that's part of it right there too. I thought you were going to give me. I know, but I thought you were going to give me a hard time about being called James.
But that's a proper name. Dougie is like a nickname.
I know.
Right? Like Melly, Smelly Melly,
Sir James.
Yeah, getting back to the defenseman there. Remember, Tommy? We talked about the fights we had in practice.
Yeah.
There was always fights in practice. It was different back then. So I feel bad for him. Maybe there had been some other things that had happened. I know they'd warned him about his social media, but that was I guess that was after a game in the dressing room. They got into
yeah.
So, but I've seen that happen before.
I know. I like Rolly Melanson. I played with out in Los Angeles. He's a great guy and everything too. We were losing the game. We were playing terrible. Came in between periods. He started saying, "Defenseman, you got to do this." And of course, I snapped. I said, "Just stop the effort, puck." Roger Torben's coach. He's going, "That's enough." And I just had to say it again and get it in one more time. But after the game, we were fine. It was like we went for a beer together. It was like,
I've seen some fuck you fights between a coach and a player before. I'll just say this. My third or fourth game in the league, Vad came in and yelled at Willie Huber. And Willie told Vad to fuck off, and then Vad told him. And I was shocked. It was in New Jersey, in the dressing room. But one time, Pierre Paget came in and yelled at Steve Chason after the game. And Steve just said, "Oh, fuck off, Pierre." And Pierre went, "Fuck off. Fuck you." They said it back and forth 30 times each. And Pierre Paget was going, "Big man, fucking all-star defenseman. fucking play like shit. You haven't even played good this year. Fuck you. And then Steve Chason, like I could not believe he wasn't traded the next day.
I see Pat Jay, those eyeballs just bulging out of his head too, right?
Incredible. Like I'm not talking once or twice, 30 times minimum. They told each other to F off.
You don't have to name anybody, James, but when you were coaching the NHL, did you get into it with anybody?
No. I will say this. I told a player to F off on the bench once.
Oh.
We had a young defenseman who we were playing in Boston. His name was Marc-Andre Gragnani. Mm-hmm. Came up the year before in the playoffs, led our team in scoring, got I think like we lost him with first round 7 games, but he got 7 points, 7 games. Super skilled. The compete level wasn't there. So we're playing in Boston the next year. First period alone, he's got 5 pizzas up the middle, like point blank turnovers. And I'm coaching the defense, and I still remember, and I just say, just keep it simple, Mark. Just keep it simple. Put it off the glass. I'm just saying stuff like that to him. So second period comes around the net, puts it on point blank up the middle, right on. It's like one timer. It's like 30 seconds. They are all over. Like they're shooting clay pigeons on our goalie. And we get out of it. We finally get the puck down the ice, and he comes off the bench, and he goes to hit the break his stick on the bench, misses the bench, and hits me on the knee. and I bent over and I said, "You motherfucker!" And Kevin Adams, the now GM, was at the other end of the bench, watched the whole thing, said he was dying laughing. I started with an MF and then I yelled a few other things at him. So,
James, were you in Winnipeg when I didn't get into it with Carol Vadnais, but I made him cry? Remember that?
No.
You were there?
No.
So when Vadnais retired and became coach, he was fantastic to me. Great. Like, yeah, he just felt like he's always giving me special advice and helping me with everything. And we're playing a game in Winnipeg. It was one of those games that every time you go on the ice, you get scored against. It's like 10-1 or something. So everybody's frustrated. And Vad was trying to help somebody else. He was trying to coach. It was a coaching moment or whatever. And we were on the ice, got scored on. So Vad did not see the goal go in, didn't see what happened. So because he and I had gotten along so well, he was calm and everything. He just leaned over and says, "Tommy, what happened on that goal?" And I go, "The puck went in the fucking net." Because I was frustrated. I wasn't frustrated at him, but I just was frustrated. And rightfully so. He had helped me so much. It was totally rude for me to treat him like that. And I knew I'd really hurt his feelings. I went to him after the game, and he was tears because it was totally wrong. I apologized. I said, "Listen, I'm sorry. I wasn't mad at you, but it's so good to me for me to act like that." But it's just pure frustration. I was. How about you, Mel? Mel, I know you got in what was you got in? What'd you call the? What's the coach of the Rangers before he got traded? What'd you say to him?
Oh, Bergeron.
Yeah, Bergeron.
Bergeron. Yeah, he. You know what? I respect it. Well, I had Cheevers in Boston. I had Sather in Edmonton. New York was Sather and Phil. Vancouver, but Mikkel Bergeron, he never liked me from the onset because he was in Quebec, I was in Boston, and he'd send out Basil McRae to fight me. And that continued from the minors right through to New York. I fought Basil I don't know how many times. But the one thing I got into when I was in Vancouver, so 3 games in, I blocked a slap shot, broke my orbital bone. I'm out for 6 weeks. I put a cage on, I come back. I think there's 5 games left in the season. We're in Calgary. Thank you, Bill. We're in Calgary. We lose 7-2. They're 1988. They win the cup in 89. So I'm taking my gear off. Everybody's sitting down. Bobby McCammon comes in. He's the coach. Jack McElhargy, tough little son of a bitch played in Philly and played in Vancouver as the assistant coach. And Bob, we lose 7-3. I think I was -6. I was just horseshit. So they come. I'm taking my gear off. Everybody else sits down. McCammon goes around the room. Sutter, Richie Sutter, you're the worst freaking Sutter I've ever seen in my life. You did nothing tonight. You're horseshit. Butchie, you're supposed to be tough. You didn't hit one guy tonight. And he goes around the room. Then he comes to me. I'm wearing a shield now because the doctor told me to. He comes up and he says, "Melnick, we got you to come here and fight and be tough. take that stupid shield off. You're not hurt. I said, what? All of a sudden you're a fucking doctor? Fuck off. So I'm taking my equipment off. So he fucked off. He started to leave the room. I took my skate and I chucked it at him. And I went it over his head. I hit the door. The skate hits the door, hits the goaltender, who at the time I think was Stevie Weeks.
My old teammate from college.
Stevie Weeks. And the next morning, it's in the fucking Vancouver Sun. Melnick throws skate at coach. Oh boy, he's in trouble now. So I was pissed. Like I was not playing well, which was fine, but don't come and berate me when we're 30 points out of a playoff spot playing against the first place team. So anyways, I go to camp next year. I take the shield off. I'm back to normal. I said, okay, Bob, let's see how this goes. I fought every exhibition game. So season comes, he calls me into his office and said, oh, this is going to really fucking go over well now, isn't it? Jack Mack says, hey, Bob wants to see it. I said, oh shit, now I got my gander, whatever that word, I'm getting hot. Hey, Larry, we really like the way you played this preseason. We're going to make you an assistant captain. I said, okay, Bob, see you. That was it. So,
good job. Well, he probably liked the fact, knowing him, he probably liked the fact that threw the skate at his head.
He just liked the fact that it's like Jack came up to me a couple of days later. He says, hey, we really like the way you handled that. And, we like your passion and all that shit. But when the season's over, like, get on with it. I'm going to Hawaii.
You know, what you were saying about with Vad, Tommy, like I didn't realize it as much as a player. I mean, maybe as an older player, I got it a bit more. But when I was younger, like I had some coaches I hated. I didn't like the coach, or you think, the coach doesn't like me. I think I had some assistant coaches I got along with. And I remember like Jack Birch and Reg Higgs, I didn't have a good feel. Like Jack Birch was so sarcastic and
I know.
So, I mean, I could say that, a bunch of other coaches I had as well. But when I started coaching, like it dawned on me, especially as an assistant coach, all you want to do is help the player.
Yeah.
How can I help? How can I help you improve your play? I want anything I can do to help you. Can I give you advice? Can I work with you in practice on something extra? Can I show you this? Can I calm you down? Can I give you, little pointers, or just stay out of your that's all you're thinking all day long as assistant coach. How can I help the player?
Right.
And I'm sure, and that's what Vad was too. Like, I think Vad was a calm guy.
Yeah, totally. Remember Jack Birch? It's funny. I told a story before about, remember when we used to put the baby powder in the hair dryers?
Oh yeah.
That was Nikki's joke. So I can't remember if you guys were there or not. It was Jack Birch, so you probably there. I had got the brilliant idea. I would do it before the game, so it was all set up and ready to go. And Jack Birch had this whole routine where he worked out, showered, put his contacts in the whole bit, because he was the eye in the sky. So he had it all timed out. So we're just about to go on the ice, and he's I put there's like 5 hair dryers. I put the baby powder in one hair dryer, and we're just about to stand up ready to go on the ice. And I forgot about Jack and his routine. So he comes in, he's just going to dry his hair. He's got his contact lenses in already. It turns on the one hair dryer that I put the baby powder in, sprayed it all over him. He's screaming, Laidlaw, I'm going to kill you. Oh, it's so funny. The guys are dying laughing. The other one with him was, remember we used to have to pay for our own pregame meal? Like they'd give us a per diem and we would have to put in money for it. Then he would come in and he wouldn't pay, but he'd come in and start eating food that we all paid for. Like you said, he's real sarcastic and he started eating our food. So I said something to him one time. I said, hope you're enjoying that meal that we bought for you. And he went and told Teddy Sater. Teddy called me in for a meeting because I had insulted Jack Birch. So that's beauty. So they were good.
Yeah, they were pretty sensitive as a staff.
Yeah,
in those little
things.
Sometimes you just have to bypass what the coaches and everything say. We just had a real tight knit group, right?
Yeah.
And you just I didn't mind those 3 guys. They didn't bother me.
Yeah. Just
went out and played, and that was it.
Yeah. Yes, they're beauties. He one time, I remember Teddy Sater too. I was playing terrible. We had remember playing that. We had a TV room. We were sitting and watching the TV. He came in with a letter. He claimed it was from a fan. And apparently the fan was saying that I should, during the national anthem, I should put my head up instead of have my head down during the national anthem. So Ted had to come in and read it in front of the whole team And again, I don't even know if it's a real letter or not. He just read it like he was trying to embarrass me in front of the team. So I ignored him and just paid attention to it. So, hold on. Special guest here.
Ronald, how you doing?
Gresh, where are you? You should be on.
Yeah, I know. We got to get him on. Mel, did you Manscaped?
No, I have nowhere to go. I got nothing nothing.
You're coming on the show. I mean,
no, next week.
So you're all furry and everything?
It's been 12 days or so. So next week.
Next week. Chris is coming on next week, he says. All right.
Jeep doesn't want to talk about that shit.
Manscaping?
No, I'm okay listening to you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike Laurana.
All right.
There you go. You all right, Mel?
Yeah. I did send you.
You did?
You got stuttering. I don't know what the hell. We're going through another freaking heat wave. 40 degrees here again, Jeep. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Anyway.
we're getting hit pretty good here too. It's been
Well, like I said, 40. I think the record was 1986, 57 days in Expo with no rain.
most of our audience is American, so we got to put that in Fahrenheit.
That's what I said. What did I say?
You said 40.
Oh, 40, 100 degrees.
100 degrees.
Approximately. Yeah.
What isn't 40 closer to 110? Isn't it like times 2 plus 30? Roughly?
And 41 is, might be 107, 108 now. Approximately, Tom.
Okay.
We want what? Produce, not perfection? What do we want?
Progress, not perfection.
Yeah, produce. Okay.
Progress.
Yeah.
How is the wonderful Rochelle Melnick?
Hey, how about Ronak getting his own show? What a
Did he?
dipshit. Yeah.
On what?
He's on a no filter. Hope somebody can help me out with this. He's on a no filter, say whatever you want. And I don't want to say it's TNT or something along that line.
Huh.
But it's a network on U.S. television.
Suppose I don't know if it's his own
TNT
podcast.
TNT is carrying some NHL games now.
Yeah.
It's not part of the contract.
Yeah, could be.
How is Rochelle?
Now we're fighting right now, so I don't want to talk about it.
What's that?
Fighting.
Oh,
Yeah, just a little. Yeah,
what'd you do wrong? What'd you do?
I don't ever do anything wrong, Tom.
Okay,
Personal.
we'll go with that.
Yeah, no, everything's good. I did do the other day though. I sent you a picture. You didn't respond.
I did so respond.
No, you didn't. I did a Ukrainian pedicure. So
What is that?
I'm sitting in. Well, we talked about our toes and our
Oh,
feet.
I know.
How bad our freaking feet are.
Yeah.
So I thought, maybe I better. And my daughter and my wife seem to think I have fungi. My doctor says no, but thanks, Rick. Jeez, he looks like Newton.
I know. Let's take a look at that picture. Hold on. Let's go back to that picture.
That's Groucho Marx.
Groucho Melnick.
Yeah, same thing. So, anyways, I want to cut my toenails, but they're so freaking hard. You have to soften them up, right? So instead of going to the pedicure and spending $100, I thought, oh shit, I'll just take the pail that I mop the floor with, throw some water and detergent in, soak my feet for about 15 minutes.
Right.
And then my daughter says, hey, here's a fungi cream or whatever, what do you call it? Liquid.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the dishwashing Palmolive, of course, because that's highly recommended. Palmolive, Tom. Okay. And I dumped that out. And then for another 15 minutes, I put water with this fungi cream. And I cut right through my toenails and I lost 10 pounds.
Good. Nice. That's
Feel good though. Feel real
That's a
good.
good story. That's a good story.
Ukrainian pedicure.
I hate to ask this, Mel, but I have to ask you this. It's been on my mind since last show. Are you pretty regular, like the bowel movement? You have bowel movement in the morning, or when are you regular?
Steve,
What?
what are you doing at the cabin?
Hold on, Mel.
What?
What is? Man,
You know what? I'm on a mission to get rid of junk, so I've been we're cleaning out the whole cabin, taking stuff to the dump and getting rid of stuff. So I've been doing that for last 4 or 5 days.
Yeah. Who's we? Daughters?
My daughter and I.
Yeah. So I was thinking about you. Is it an older cabin on Falcon?
Yeah, I'll explain. It was built in 1960. I bought it in 88. First thing I did was it was basically a rectangle cabin. We built a room onto the front that was a weight room. So I built a gym. A couple of years later, we bumped the cabin out, put 15 feet on one side, and then we opened the ceiling, made a loft. So we did everything that you could to it, but it's
So,
anyways, Mel, I'm tearing it down this summer and going to rebuild. So I have to get rid of everything inside here.
Oh wow!
So
Mel, we seriously can't talk about any bodily functions like that.
Jeep, Facebook Marketplace is probably one of the best places. Even if you want to get rid of stuff for free, people will come by. It's amazing what they take. And $10, $20, whatever it is. Like, anyways, the point of the thing was, I thought that because it's an older cabin, your doors might be crooked. People think when you have a crooked door and it sticks, right? And you can't shut it completely, that you need to shave around the door. Nay. So what you do is you unhinge the bolts, right?
Yeah.
Shim the door. So you put a couple of shims in to move the door over. Then you move the brackets over to where the door will be square.
It didn't make any sense at all.
No, I wish I would have known that 20 years ago.
Smart people know, Tom.
But
so you know what I mean, Jeep, right? The metal brackets, you just bend them and the door is square. Let's learn that.
About 20 years ago, my wife and I decided to put a hardwood floor in the cabin and do it ourselves. I might have told you guys about this, but went and laid down. They were 5-inch wide knotty pine planks. We go to put the first one down, and we picked up the wood. We let it, we brought it in the cabin because it's got to get, it was there for a week. So now we're going to start like at 7 a.m. We put the first plank down, and it was flat on one end. And on the other end, it was probably 6-7 inches off the floor. And so we pushed it down, and it was bowed. So I knew a contractor here who had done a lot of work around the cabin. I called him up. He came by. For the next 2 hours, we went underneath the cabin, got his car jack, and he started jacking up the posts and putting little shimmies on top of a bunch of the different planks. Then we go and put a level on the floor, and he basically in 2 hours leveled my cabin with a car jack, and it was pretty
cool. Jeep, how about you? Are you pretty regular with your bowel movements?
I'll say yes, and then we can move on.
We could. It's true.
Did you turn the air conditioning on today, Tom?
I got my fan going here, Mel. I usually have a fan with me, so the pits are good. And plus, it's a dark shirt, so you really can't tell anywhere. But
how come the Rangers have a black golf shirt? Or is that blue?
This is actually dark blue, but I did have a black one, but you couldn't see the Rangers black as well. So
it looks black. Oh well.
Make sure the logo.
So James, you really I know you're going to get going here a little bit with the hockey gets started here a little bit, but right now it's just making phone calls to the players and everything. Is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm in a little bit of a panic right now. My assistant coach, there was a bit of a shuffle in the American League with a few coaches last week. So Montreal gave that Ducharme. They signed him, a head coach, the guy who came up and coached. They brought him up halfway, or he was a assistant coach. Yep. Well, their head coach of their farm team decided to leave. Laval, isn't it? Joel Bouchard. I know I played with him in Calgary. So he left there and he went to San Diego. And Kevin Dineen was coaching in San Diego. There's word that he might join Joel Quenneville in Florida. So then the assistant coach of Edmonton's farm team, his last name's Houle. He's a French kid. Your favorite, Mel. He left Bakersfield and went to Laval. So now Bakersfield's head coach is Jay Woodcroft. He's been assistant for 10 years in the NHL. He's won a bunch of Stanley Cups. Well, he's interviewing 5 candidates, and one of them's my assistant coach.
Oh,
so my assistant coaches in this league have a huge. They do all meals, they do all hotel travel, they do all billets, like a lot of work off the ice, and all that takes place over the summer. So he's interviewing this week, and by the end of the week, I'll find out if I have to find a new assistant coach. So that's. I'm worried about that because it's you spend so much time together as a staff. You want to make sure you get the right guy. It's someone you like being with. So
here's something we can all do together. So October 3rd, I'm doing an Alzheimer's walk. All right, for Alzheimer's. You guys know anybody with Alzheimer's or affected by that?
Yeah.
So we're putting a team together called Team Grasshoppers, and you guys could fly in for the walk. That'd be unbelievable. Then you get some swag there, Mel.
Well, I'd have to see it, like show me what I'm getting, and then we'll see.
This is for a good cause. It's nothing you just sell.
Tom, I would be there in a heartbeat if
right.
I didn't have a commitment, but we play on the 1st and 2nd.
That's right too. Yeah. Mel, you can come in. You got nothing going on.
I might be James' assistant.
That's right. I might be taking applications by Friday.
Here's somebody asked a good question. I think you talked about it at the time, but it came up in video. You trained with Donnie Lalonde. He was the boxer, right?
Never.
Oh, you didn't?
Ever. So I will say this. My brother did.
Oh.
My brother had gone to a boxing gym. You know, guys were doing that at the time, early 80s.
Right.
And there's an old gym that Donnie trained out of in Winnipeg. And just happened that Donnie had changed trainers and moved to New York. And right around that time, 86, 87, 88, he moved to New York. So I had never met him, but he started coming to some games. I met him after a game, became friends with him, and hung out with him a few times. But I've never, ever been in a boxing gym in my life or did I ever with Donnie. But I remember someone saying that.
Sam Rosen. Yeah.
Sam Rosen said it. But Donnie came to one of our games. After the game, it might have been the first or second time I met him. I was talking to him in the hallway, and then we went for a bite to eat after the game.
Right.
And Sam probably put 2 and 2 together, but I never.
Yeah, I think it was during the Poulin fight. Didn't he? Remember you had that fight with Poulin? That's what you said?
He did say that. And
oh, that's funny. I just assumed you did. Oh, wow. Interesting.
No.
Jeep, I remember you just because Dusty Hill of ZZ Top, one of my favorite bands, just passed away. I think I'm lying in bed and I'm thinking, you know what? Jeep was good friends with somebody from a radio station and used to get CDs all the time from a said guy, correct?
Yes. Actually, guy's name was Danny Bush. He was with A&M Records.
Yeah.
And he used to bring in, not only that, they would bring in different recording art, music stars to games. And, they used to come to the dressing room and so I got to meet some different guys. I mean, they brought in INXS one time, and I remember me and Bernie Nichols and Beezer got pictures with them and ended up talking to them. But so one day he brought 2 quick stories. He brought Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson was kind of big in the late 70s. Remember that song, Is She Really Going Out With Him?
Yeah.
So Danny brings him over and introduces me because he knows that I like music and stuff. So I'm in the dressing room and I've got my shorts and t-shirt on and I'm getting ready to go back and shower. And so I'm talking to him and then I said, nice meeting you and stuff. And, so then he's kind of, I leave him stand there. I go and jump in the shower, come out with a towel. He's still standing by my stall, and there's, the media's in the room and stuff. So I say, hey, if you want to, you can come back and sit in the lounge. Danny was real good friends with Pierre LaRouche. I don't know if he's hanging out with him or whatever. So Joe Jackson comes back into the lounge. I walk in. Remember, we used to hang our clothes in the closet and.
Rochelle?
My daughter's got.
Oh.
your alarm.
I had a phone call, a FaceTime with one of her friends. Hey, sorry, Jeep, go.
No, anyway, so I go get my suit, I go get my shoes, and then I don't even know what to say to him anymore. And so now I kind of go off in the corner near the couch. Well, he follows me, and I need to get dressed. So then I take my towel off. I'm butt naked, and I get dressed in the lounge like we all did. And I'm standing here naked, and Joe Jackson is standing beside me. I feel like an idiot, but it was, what do you do? So anyways, that was one of the stories with Danny Bush. He brought a band one game that were named Suicidal Tendencies. I'd never heard of them. They were like the most hardcore.
Nice name.
They were from LA. These guys were gangsters. Like they were thrash metal, but these guys were from like Compton or the worst neighborhood. Die-hard hockey fans.
Wow.
Die-hard LA King fans. Like Tommy, was when you were playing for LA, they knew every guy. They were talking to me. Danny brought me and Brian Leach to meet them. They knew everything about the Kings.
Wow.
They invited us to their video shoot the next day. So the next day, me and Brian Leach went to watch them film a video, and then they asked us to be in it.
Oh,
and we were in it for like 10 seconds, and it's the last type of music that I've ever listened to. But
yeah, we were out in LA when Gretz got there. All the movie stars were coming to the locker room after the game. So Goldie Hawn was in there after the game one night. And it's the same thing, how it was, because there's female reporters. You'd have to briefly take everything off and wrap a towel around it. And I would love to tell you that Goldie Hawn was staring at me. She was not. But she was just glancing around the room. And it just happened to me when I dropped all my gear. And I'm standing there, eye-to-eye contact with Goldie Hawn. I'm standing there, no clothes on. I'm thinking to myself, God, I hope it's not cold in here. Oh, God, it was funny.
Well, okay, when that's what it was like. Like I remember we had Helene Elliott and I think Sherry Ross was with the Devils. Like, not only did you back when I started, you got unchanged and dressed in the same room.
Yeah.
But guys would walk around naked. They'd go to the shower, come out naked. Helene would interview guys naked.
I know.
And I mean, it's totally different now. There's a certain room for this, and then the dressing rooms are so big now. And it was an eye opener for me when I joined the team that you're naked and walking around the room, and there's female reporters.
I know.
You'd think, did Goldie Hawn take a picture of you, Tom, with her little Kodachrome?
She had to zoom in.
Little Johnny.
Oh, God, that was so funny. Oh, God, I could just remember the look at her face. It didn't seem to bother her too much. I was more like, Goldie Hawn staring at my junk, yeah. So, Mel, I just think that, too, before we have to go here, where's your homework? You have any homework done today?
No, Jeep has taken over the homework part. He's way better now.
No. Well, I'm glad you watched that game. Did you have fun watching it?
I watch all those games, anything I can find. Like I watched I think it was the third game of the first series against Philly and the first game of the second series against Washington. I watch those all the time. That's all I do is watch fight videos and that. Love that.
James, I don't know if you remember, this involved the three of us. Mel and I were playing together one night, and we were watching the game the next day in the practice rink. And I'll never forget, because Mel and I went to hit this guy in the front of the net both at the same time. I was on one side, Mel was on the other. The guy stood there and didn't move. Mel and I both fell down. We jumped up like it's like we're embarrassed. And you were laughing because the next day at practice we watched that film and Juice was dying laughing. I don't know why I remember that being so funny. But it was funny because when Mel and I hit him and both went down, we were like, what's going on? Hope nobody saw that, right?
Do you remember who it was? Probably like Tim Kerr or somebody who's 6'6".
Mel, I don't think it was really even a big guy. It was just the fact that you and I both hit him at exactly the same time. So he was just like a pole standing there. We just fell down.
I was watching one of the fight videos. We were playing against Washington. Tom and I were on, and you could hear Tommy yell, "Watch out, Mel, he's coming from behind." It was Ed Kostelek.
Oh.
He hits me from behind. He drops his glove before I even knew what was happening, and we got into a scrap. And I don't know, it was his first year or whatever. He thought he was tough, but I threw a couple of punches, but the guy suckers me from. But you could hear Tommy yell all the way up into the rafters, right? It was a good partner.
We were good. We were good.
Well, guys did that way better.
Yeah.
Way better back then. I mean, it's
Yeah.
incredible being on a bench at times and no one's talking.
Yeah.
No one's yelling, stuff out to their teammates. And I saw that in the NHL, and now coaching. I have to talk to my players about them talking to each other, helping each other, yelling from the bench. There's once a month something will happen, and I will go. In the next whistle, I'll go down. Did you guys not see that? Could you not help your teammate?
Yeah. Yeah, remember when we played, right? That was like if you didn't do it, it's like you were mad at yourself. It wasn't like somebody else was mad at you. You felt bad yourself because you grew up thinking, especially with your defensive partner, but anybody, that's your job. Part of your job is to protect your teammates, right? So, yeah. So, James, I'm sorry to tell you, but I think you're on the show all the time now. It's just a given that you're on the show. Yes.
Well, I think if Gresh and Dave come back, there's only room on the computer for 4.
There actually is room for 5. So, yeah.
Well, I'll come on whenever I can make it. I know once our season starts, it might be tough.
Okay. And again, Mel doesn't contribute much anymore, so it's part of the issue too.
Mel.
He doesn't listen to me at all anymore. I ask him questions now, he just ignores me. It's just like
I think next week Mel's homework is going to blow us away. Week,
Mel, can you please go do some homework for next week?
I was at the golf course yesterday, and I had a perfect one. I sent it in script to Tom to get approval from the CRTC because it was kind of bad, but he didn't say anything about it today, so maybe I'll bring it up next week.
Okay. Perfect.
Mel, what did you think of the Canucks signings?
Who did they sign?
Well, they signed Poolman, they signed Hammerlick, they signed Shen on defense. They signed someone else too. Oh, they signed that Connor Garland and
Garland. I know nothing about. I like Hamonic. I like Shen. They should have never got rid of him. So they unloaded Schmidt at $6 million. They got 2 defensemen in place of him.
Yeah, but they got Ekman Larsson, who makes 8.5.
Yeah. And Edler was a surprise because he stated he would never leave Vancouver. So
yeah, he went to LA, eh?
Yeah. So something happened there. What was the question? What do I think? I still think they're weak. Yeah.
All right, guys. Good show. James, good job. Maybe you've got any other shirts or like that? You got another shirt? That's just the only one.
I got one other one. I'll dig it out of the cobwebs, and
we should try to make a habit of like wearing some Ranger swag every show now.
I'll see
what. All right, guys. Good job. We'll see you next week.
Mel.
Bye,
You guys.